Welcome to Make It Awesome, because we're going to have cold opens, because that's how we do things around here. I think this is episode 10. This should be episode 10. If it's not, well, hey, you'll see in the description. Wait, you're looking at your watch telling me it's 10?
It's 10.
Okay,
it's
sure.
Episode 10, for sure. I just checked my watch.
Well, I'm glad. That's great. I hope it's episode 10. But we have, I guess, I'm going to call it our first guest, because Thomas was technically our first guest, but now Thomas is a host, so I'm
kind of negates it, right?
It does get rid of that,
I think it negates.
I think so.
We have Brad, and, well, Brad's got an interesting story, and just before we get into it, I want to put a disclaimer here. If you're cooking, start cutting some onions, because honestly, it's going to happen. There's going to be some emotions here. There's a story to Brad and how he got into this industry. There's a story of how Brad and I met, and then how we really got, together to work on something. And it's going to be a tough one. All right. So those of you that are prone to crying, you've been warned. So I'm joined by Tad and Thomas. This is Making Awesome. We have our guest Brad, and as always, Making Awesome is supported by 3D Musketeers. You can check us out at 3dmusketeers.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 3D Musketeers, and if we've done it right, there should be a little ticker at the bottom of your screen. If you are watching, of course, on YouTube, should be a little ticker. If we did it right. If we didn't do it right, then hey, screw it. We've just put like the last hour and a half of time for literally nothing. But that's okay. It's got everyone to warm up to each other, and that's what matters. So, Brad, take it away, dude. Talk to us. What brings you here? What makes you someone that makes awesome?
Well, to get over the hard part first, in March of 2017, I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma in my right chewing muscles. I had 43 weeks of chemotherapy, and in there were 6 weeks of radiation. And then there was a short break, and then I think it was a couple of months of maintenance chemotherapy. And I think it was January of 2018, I was declared no evidence of disease. So, to get that over with.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Brad's young, and so he went through this 3 years ago. So yeah, that would put you at 11 or 12, right? Something like that.
I'm in 10th grade now. I was diagnosed. I missed the end of 6th grade. I had to do 7th grade online, but I was able to return for 8th grade.
So your treatment was the better part of a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
Yeah. And that's, I want you guys to know, he's good. He's okay.
Yeah. I was nowhere into disease even before the maintenance treatment. So January, I think it would have been January of 18.
Jeez. And we were like, January of 18. 2018 was when 3D Musketeers became net profitable. That's why I remember 2018 very well, because 2018 is when I paid off like $20,000 left in debt. But your life was a little bit different, and
Just a little.
A lot of.
So the cancer that you had, that's pretty rare, I'm imagining, right?
Mhm. I think when I was diagnosed, there were like 150 cases a year, if that.
I didn't know
Wow.
it was
Exact
wow.
numbers.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And so I guess we'll fast forward a bit, because I knew Brad for a long time before I knew about Brad's condition. So, me personally, this is technically the first time that Tad and Thomas have met Brad, other than like me sending random photos to you guys of Brad and the things that he makes, because Brad makes some pretty cool stuff. We're gonna get into that in a bit. But I met Brad at Academy at the Lakes. Academy at the Lakes is a school located in... Is it Land O'Lakes or is it in Lutz? I feel like it's actually in Lutz, but it's in Land O'Lakes, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's Academy of the Lakes near Tampa. I feel like you can find it at that point. But I was brought on to be the robotics coach for that school year to help the students who were in the first robotics program build a really cool robot for what was at the time a brand new game that first had partnered with Star Wars and Disney to do. Spoiler alert,
What?
that never actually happened.
Oh, okay. I was like,
But that was because of coronavirus. They did actually partner with Star Wars, and they're playing the same game this year.
oh my
and
god.
that's how I met Brad, among many other students. And Brad quickly kind of latched on to this idea of making. He was always the one that volunteered to use the saw, even though it was clearly something that he was uncomfortable with in the beginning. He was hardcore for the 3D printers, and one of them always gave us some crap, but he was always looking at it, figuring out how he could potentially make it not jam constantly. I don't think we ever did figure that printer out. I think the season ended abruptly, and then because that was in January of 2020, when we were still trying to work on that machine, and that's when the season was just outright canceled and everybody left. And half the team at the time were exchange students from China, so they went home because none of them really knew if they would be able to get home. Thank God they left when they did, because they probably wouldn't have been able to. But Brad really took a liking to the 3D printing, and I guess you were a freshman that year, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were a freshman that year, because I remember Mr. Burnley saying, we got to clean up. Someone grab a freshman. Let's see what we can do here. I think you were the only freshman on the team, so I feel bad about it.
I think there were a couple others, but they usually left before we cleaned up, so.
They abandoned the team. You were there as long as you could be. You showed up early. You left late. There were times where your parents were waiting for you outside for longer than I think most parents would wait. But I think it's because they saw something, and clearly you saw it too. So you started with your aunt's FlashForge Dreamer, correct, as your first 3D printer?
Yes, and I think I first used it. It would have been winter break of that year.
Okay. Yeah, so you had just started touching 3D printing before we got into it pretty heavy. And for those wondering about it, the FlashForge Dreamer it's not a bad printer. It's not particularly a good one. It's very old technology. It's based off a MakerBot replicator, not the new replicator, the old replicator. The old replicator, which left in like 2011. It's been a minute. We're trying out a new recording software. I would look those things up, but I'm afraid that if I do, I'm going to screw up the recording. So I'm not going to do that. I've actually realized I may not be capturing the audio in Streamlabs. We're going to find out. I'm capturing it inside a Zoom, so maybe we'll figure it out.
We can composite it together.
Yeah, there's a way.
Yeah, enhance and such. The nice thing about Zoom is I'm actually individually recording everybody's audio, so that Brad's a little quiet. Brad, we can raise you right up, no problem. Yeah. And I say that not knowing how to do it myself. So anyways, Tad and Thomas both have experience in broadcasting, so they're smarter than me, is what most of you need to know about that.
Experience, Grant, not smarter.
We just had to deal with a lot of problems and tight deadlines.
Yeah, so,
I don't know if everyone knows that. Yeah, fun fact, Tad and I used to work for NBC for the summer.
Oh, wow.
So
in a very, very small
I was gonna say,
station.
It's like super oh wow until you understand that it was almost less than minimum wage for doing every job that existed at that TV station, because they had 3 tech people, 2 of which were Tad and I.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
We had our technical director, and then Thomas and I.
Yep. We did cameras and lights and editing.
And audio.
And editing. Recording. And, so it was crazy.
And pulling the video from the VOD system.
Yeah. But anyway, I digress.
That's fine. I've got experience in the industry too. I was a consultant for CNN, Latino. because clearly I fit that market brand. But I was brought on to help the local CNN Latino station go from a local station to a national one. Long story short, that fell through. Things happened, and we're not going to get into it. Anyways, Brad. So you started out with that FlashForge Dreamer. That machine came to you from it's a Dreamer, right?
It's a Dreamer, yeah.
I think it is a Dreamer.
Extrusion.
They have some weird names for their machines, and they're
the
all.
Dreamer NX is the one that has single extrusion, I think. And this isn't the NX.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, one with a longer name has less features. Cool. Yep. That's how every other industry does it.
How we do it.
But that printer came to you because it had problems, and your aunt said, no. He knows tech. Brad knows tech.
Oh my God.
Give it to Brad. It's fine. Just give it to Brad. And so, you got this printer. And it worked for a little bit-ish. But eventually you decided, I need my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you get?
Got an Ender 3 on Amazon.
So it was a Creality Ender 3. And I remember this printer because how long did you have it before I saw it?
Probably, before you saw it, probably a couple weeks.
And you brought it in a state of... It was upset. It was upset.
The extruder arm, I think, was snapped. And we should get that out.
How did that happen?
Ender 3.
Ender 3, that's just the answer.
And I think the Ender 3 was a good learning experience for you because it showed you the difference between a printer that is designed for a hobbyist who's got a ton of time and doesn't value it versus something that was designed for someone who cares about their time, right? The Ender 3 is not a bad printer, right?
Yeah.
Once we got it running, it ran fine.
I still have some of the prints from it, and they're decent quality.
When you compare them to what you have now, though. So, talk to us a little bit about that experience with the Ender 3 and what ultimately happened, and where you ended up in terms of 3D printing. So, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I had the Ender 3 for a couple of weeks. It worked as perfectly as it could have for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, in like the middle of a print, or like something like that, I think it was the extruder arm snapped. And then it felt like everything, it snowballed from there. There was that one problem, and then there were like 30 others. And eventually we ultimately did return it. And Mr. Posner directed me to Prusa, the Prusa i3 Mark III's, and I got one of those. I think it was a birthday gift, and it's like the best printer I've used. It's still to this day the best printer I've used.
Ooh, E3D's gonna be mad about that.
Ooh, don't tell him.
This podcast brought to you by
Technically, I
Prusa.
haven't used that one yet because it's
Joseph, where's our sponsorship? Come on.
So, I had the i3 Mark III's, and I mean, some of the prints I'll show at some point are, I think, almost all from it, and it just works.
It does, and that's why if you all look, well, if you're listening audio only, I always almost screw that up. You'll see there are 4 Mark III S's on the middle row behind me, and all 4 of them are actually running. We're going to talk about that in another episode of what we're doing and why. But the one that's right here running black, that's the only one that's actually making us money. The other 3 are actually actively losing us money. And we are totally okay with that. There's a really cool story that we're going to talk about. Maybe at the end of this podcast, but likely we'll save it for another one. And maybe we'll have Brad back to talk about that one too, because Brad, I want you involved in this too. Assuming we can get everything back up and running for you. So, you got this Prusa, and I remember getting messages from you when you were building it of, all right, more gummy bears, because... Look, if you're listening audio only, you might as well just go to YouTube at this point. I'm showing you the instruction manual. Oh man, I just realized because we're screen capturing in Zoom, my camera's backwards for me, but it's right for you guys. So on the actual stream that we're recording, it's backwards for them. Well, that's what happens. Guess we're going to release Brad's episode before we release the branding one where we talk about all this, because we should have had all this ironed out. Spoiler alert, we're recording Brad's episode before the branding one. You know what? Screw it. It'll be a little Easter egg that people get to know where I obviously screwed something up. I wonder... Oh, I can't go into Zoom because it's going to screw up the screen recording. Whatever. We're going with it. We're doing it live. But this is the assembly instructions for a Prusa Mark III's. It is many pages of very high-res photos with lots of really good information. And, you know, Brad had asked me about just getting a pre-built. I said you could.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to learn a lot more about the machine when it breaks, not if, because no matter how good your machine is, problems will occur. There's nothing you can do about it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, so when you have problems, you're going to understand that it's 4 bolts to take the extruder apart. If you bought it pre-assembled, you're going to have to sit there and fumble around until you figure out what's going on. And so you did have some issues with the build. I remember quite a few questions and a little bit of frustration there. But once you got it running, a lot of it came down to tuning.
There was one thing that happened before it was running. Remember when I had to, then I finished it, it would have been, I think it would have been Friday night, that Friday night of one of those weeks when I finished it. Saturday was STEM Club. When I plugged it in Friday night, it didn't turn on.
I remember that. I forget the reason.
I brought it in. You looked at it, you couldn't figure it out. You had me rewire the board, and then all of a sudden it turned on.
Did you ever figure it out, or?
I remember you yelling. I think I was in the back of the STEM shed. When it turned on, you yelled, "You idiot!"
I don't know if I was yelling at you.
You think you were yelling at yourself by the sound of it.
I don't know, but I mean, so then
it was probably just bad wiring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is one of the toughest parts on those builds, is getting that wiring correct. Thankfully, Prusa has put so many safeguards in place, so even if you do screw it up, you're likely not going to brick your printer. I promise if you wire an Ender 3 wrong, you have a fire hazard or you have a dead machine. Prusa has diodes on both of the positive and negative inputs for the power supply, so that if you do happen to flip-flop it for some reason or do it in the wrong way, you don't kill the board.
Exactly.
Which I will tell you, bloody freaking brilliant.
This
and
podcast
I
brought
was
to you by
likely
Prusa again.
I mean,
guys,
we wish.
Come on. Joseph, hit us up.
Please.
We probably need another 2 zeros on our viewership before we can start hitting up Prusa for a sponsorship. But hey, you want some early game bonus points? Come on, hit us up. Man, I swear we have sold enough Prusa printers to earn a sponsorship at this point.
You would think.
I'm one of them.
To you, Tad got his because of me.
Yeah.
Tad's got a Mark III's. Thomas, you're next.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think you could do it. You should get one.
I mean, yeah. After I'll put it in the checkbook. I'll just write a check for it and I'll do it eventually.
Let's make it easy, man. The money you're making from the podcast, just put it away for a printer. We'll call it Prusa money.
The Prusa money, yeah.
The Prusa money.
Prusa money.
It's going to take a hot minute, but that's all right.
I got it.
But, you know, they really are good machines. And so what did you start doing? What was your first, once you got it up and running, right? Because it took us a little bit to get it there. Once we got it tuned for you, I remember talking with you about the settings. And I said, all right, I could give you the cheat code and just give you the settings that we use, or I can make you learn it yourself. So I'm going to send you a photo of the settings that we use. I want you to compare them to your settings. Don't copy them, but look at where the differences are and see how adjusting those make things different. And I'll say, you've been sending me lots of photos of prints, and I the one thing that I've noticed you text me a lot, right? You text me, Snapchat, whatever it is, about the machines, and it's gone from I need help, I need help, I need help to hey, look at this, hey, look at this, hey, look at this. I'm like, this is awesome. This is what this industry is about, right? You start out with a printer that gives you lots and lots of trouble. Everyone does it, right? Very few people start off with like a knock out of the park machine, right? They're going to start with something that's right. And they work their way up to something that's worth its weight in salt, which is salt's not expensive, but it's a joke. Deal with it.
It was at one point. That's why that phrase is the thing it is.
There's a history lesson that I'm not aware of.
Oh yeah.
Do you know it?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, right?
Well, salt
is that literally it? What year?
Salt's a key nutrient, and it used to be difficult to obtain. Like, you've heard of like, going to work in the salt mine, but salt miners were really like wealthy because they did hard work that nobody wanted to do for a thing that everybody needed.
Boy, how crazy, getting paid good money for doing good work. Wow.
Yeah.
What a novel concept. Jeez,
Oh,
now
God.
if only more employers did that. By the way, 3D Musketeers is hiring. And I would like to believe that we pay pretty well, all right? Look, we're not a multi-million-dollar, we're not even a multi-$100,000 company, not yet. To be continued. Look, I'm gonna look back at this like 10 years later when we're on episode 6,000. We've got 1 million watchers, and gonna realize that I've lied to myself this whole time. That there's no way we're gonna be doing this in 6 years and have 1 million followers. We both know that. But Brad, you transformed, right? You went from I think you went from a novice to a maker, and it was so cool being on the other side to experience that. Because I went through it myself, right? And I leaned on, the staff that we had at the time when we were in Wiregrass Mall to, we all learned together, because when the Mark III and the Mark IIIS came out, Chris, how'd I say his last name? You met him. We're going to get into meeting him.
I did not meet him.
You didn't meet Chris W., the pretty
Chris
guy?
Hockey?
Yeah.
No.
Pretty guy.
No, I didn't meet him.
His profiles are called the Pretty Profiles. The Pretty Prusa Profiles.
Oh,
Look
that
it up,
guy.
you'll find him.
I know who you're talking about.
It's
thought you
Wark
just
Hockey,
meant
right?
I just thought
Let
you
me
meant
check.
he was like a pretty man.
I'm always afraid that I'm going to mispronounce his name and someone's going to get mad
check.
at me. But it's Cunningham's Law, right? Put out the wrong answer on the internet, someone's going to correct you. So if we're wrong, hey, Chris, hit us up. We appreciate it. Your profiles have been amazing. We've tuned them, but they've been amazing. And
Yeah, Warkaki, but I mean, technically it's Warkutski, but
yeah,
Warkaki.
Polish.
Yeah,
Polish.
very
Okay.
Polish.
Is everyone here Polish? Is that how this goes? Brad, what's your background? Do you know your background? Are you Polish?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Probably a little bit, so we're gonna call it good.
I mean, I am a fair bit Polish. Okay,
I
I'm half Polish, quarter Italian, quarter Spaniard, as far as I'm aware.
actually don't think I have that much Polish DNA. I just grew up with a Polish mom.
That's enough. Okay, I grew up with a Latin mother. I understand.
Okay, great. We're all on the same page.
Hi, Mom. I don't know if you actually listen to these, but hi. But man, it's been cool, and I'm wearing a regular T-shirt. Tad's wearing, I think he's wearing a sweater. You wearing a sweater?
Yes.
But is your sweater yellow or gold and black, or is it blue and black? Was that the meme?
Yeah,
Right?
that was the
That
meme.
was the meme.
That's
Thomas is
definitely
wearing
blue and
some
black.
white T-shirt with what looks like an iguana on it. But everyone, take a look at Brad. He's wearing a 3D printing T-shirt. Eat, print, repair, print again, repeat.
It's
Hell
good.
yeah!
So, fun thing. This shirt, I was talking about how I have prints on the wall that I printed.
Did you make that shirt yourself?
Yeah, this is a hand printed shirt too.
Loser. What does it say?
What is this?
It says Abibus. I'm making fun of Adidas by ripping them off really hard. So I made
And
a fake.
in comes the cease and desist.
I named the brand Cease and Desist. There's a tag on the back of the shirt. I'm not kidding. That's like the whole concept.
It's it
was a thesis project.
So you have a Beepus, and what other ones do you have?
The others are Mike, which is just Nike, but it's a fish that looks like the swoosh. And then there's another one called the last one wasn't the best. I think it was just called Dunder Armour, and it was like it was spelled wrong in their font or whatever, and it was just a dude like kind of like crouching like.
Yeah, do you have a Supreme one?
Yeah, the Supreme is the whole brand, which is the Cease and Desist. So it's just Supreme, but it has Cease and Desist in it because I expected to get Cease and Desist orders, which I haven't yet. No.
Well, because you didn't use it commercially, there's really no reason for them to send one. Until you start cutting into their profits, the companies don't care.
You got to make it before.
Yeah, no, and I've sold them, but none of it really ever would cut into their profit.
No. Don't say you've sold them.
What?
Don't say you sold them.
I made a whole project about it. It's fine.
Well, I mean, so that makes Thomas a maker too. So all right, Thomas, fine. You're accepted in making awesome.
Kind.
I make stuff too.
You're still on probation.
Going to the probation corner.
And right toward the end of the first robotics season, Brad starts talking to me about Make-A-Wish. And when he started talking to me, my heart sank.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know that Make-A-Wish is also for individuals that are on the up and up. I'm like, oh God, it's back. I don't know how to handle this. I'm not trained for this. I was legit. I never told you this, Brad. But when you talked to me about Make-A-Wish, I didn't know that Make-A-Wish was also something that was you could still do it because you were on the up and up. I thought it was for only, individuals that had terminal. There was no chance. It was like their last dying wish. I did not know this, so my heart sank when you first told me. And then I Googled it, and I felt a whole lot better because I'm like, oh, because you are such a bright kid. You're so smart, and you're going to be a problem. You're gonna be a problem, and I think I have a solution to this. We're gonna get to that a little bit later, but you are going to create some really awesome things. I said, no, we can't. But then I don't know if it was you that told me or if it was the representative when they reached out that told me about it. And I'm like, oh, I can breathe a little bit easier because I had heard about your story. We actually connected because I had found out about a cancer diagnosis close to my family. My mother is battling cancer herself. So, and that's when Brad was talking to me about his battle and some of the things that worked for him and the things that didn't. And what a way to connect with someone, right? I mean, if I didn't shed a tear when we were talking, I definitely shed one in private. I try to be strong around the kids, and I think it's funny how you still call me Mr. Posner. You can call me Grant, all right? We're not at the school. It's okay. You can call me Grant.
When you're not here, I actually refer to you as Posner.
Yes, all of you refer to me as Posner. That's fine. I'll take
it.
Right. It is what it is. Just like Mr. Burnley, y'all refer to him as Burnley. And you turned him into a meme. You all didn't turn me into a meme. Not yet.
I must have missed that.
I could make that happen.
No, don't. They had Phil Swift as their main meme, but Burnley had his own little memes and stuff. It was crazy. And now it looks like Mr. Burnley's son, Burnley the Third, I'm not going to say their first name, but last name is Burnley, and he's the third. So it looks like we're going to revive the STEM Club. I thought it was going to be dead this year, but it looks like we're going to revive it. We're waiting for everybody at the school to get back. So hopefully, if we can do that, I'm going to likely just shut down the printers at the school and have you be the one that does all the 3D printing, because I know you're gonna stay full remote this year, right?
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, and look, I don't care. The fact that you are potentially immunocompromised still does not change the fact that the right decision was to go digital this year. It was the right decision. I understand there are some parents that can't do it, and schools have taken great precautions to assist in that, but absolutely blessed in the ability to do that this year, where it's, dude, these times are weird, right? We're really recording this on the 7th of November, and I want to put that out there because some things have happened today. If you go back and look at the history of the 7th of November 2020, something very key happened today, and it had nothing to do with coronavirus, but it has a lot to do with the way that the country handles coronavirus moving forward. So it's odd. Everybody is calling me today. It's ridiculous. 4 phone calls since we started the podcast. Too bad.
It's happening to me too.
So what this is I should just be recording more often. That's how I get more phone calls. That's a big brain move right there.
There you go.
And so Make-A-Wish reached out, and Brad had already talked to me that, hey, this is what I want to do. Initially, what was your main goal with your Make-A-Wish? What was the goal that you were trying to do?
Well,
I remember it.
Before COVID.
Before 3D printing, yeah. Before COVID, what was your goal?
I wanted to visit the set of Thor: Love and Thunder, the Marvel movie, which I don't think it started filming yet. It was supposed to be. Before it got pushed back, I think it was supposed to be releasing in a couple months.
That's pretty cool. That's objectively a really cool thing. I hope that can still happen. I'm hoping we can pull that together for you, because you weren't able to do that. You said, well, what's the next thing that I really like? And you chose 3D printing, which, I mean, just warmed my cold heart to say I have had an impact on someone that great. And a lot of it is completely you, right? You were the one that put in the work. But we were talking, my girlfriend still gets on me for this, by the way. You talked to him more than you talked to me. I said, hon, please don't take that out of context, because that gets weird. And it's not. We're literally just talking about 3D printing, I promise. But it's been so amazing to see you to grow, and you came to me and said, could we 3D print Hope? Do you have the real Hope? Where's the real Hope? Is she around?
I can get her.
If you want to. You don't have to. If you want to get her, you can.
I'll get her while you're talking.
Okay. Hope is, well, I believe she's a golden retriever, right?
Looked very much like a golden retriever.
Pretty sure it's a golden retriever. Yeah, I'm bad with dogs.
So.
She is absolutely adorable. Did not like me the first time I met her, but I had a mask on, and as soon as I moved it, she saw my face. She's like, oh, okay, it's a human. We're good. Brad will have to tell that story. She barked at me for 45 minutes the first time I went over. But Brad's wish, part of it was to get a 3D model of Hope. And we have attempted to scan dogs before. We've attempted to scan cats before. And really the only good way to do it is if they're not with us anymore, because they don't move. And that's morbid and sad, but it's really the most effective way. Even a really well-trained dog. We scanned a Australian Shepherd. Those dogs are crazy good at following directions. It still tracked me with its head as I was scanning it and its owner, or the human and the dog. Because let's be real, we don't own our animals; they own us, right?
They do. They really do.
Yep. Victoria, Bailey,
by this creature.
Hope. Yeah. Thomas, what are the name of your pets?
We got, I guess Arlo, and that's pretty much it. And sometimes I like to think that the dogs next door are also my dogs, because they just hang out all the time.
Yeah.
So
Hope is going crazy. There she is.
Aww.
There she is. Brad, I think you're muted.
Yeah, here's Hope.
Oh, look at her.
She's a 2-year-old golden retriever.
Oh,
she's absolutely adorable. Once she finally warmed up to me, the sweetest dog I've ever met. Before she warmed up to me, I'm like, all right, we got a 50-50 chance this is going to go south.
Oh, what a sweetie pie, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, she's adorable. And, Brad said, I really want to 3D print Hope. I said, well, we can do this. And so I said, Brad, we need as many photos as possible. And I said, I've made this mistake. Do not send me 1,000 photos of your dog. Because we did that one time where I said, we need as many photos as we can get, and it was for a wedding cake topper. And we got sent like 1,200 photos. I'm like, all right, I got to go through and pick like 15 or 20.
Oh, man.
He sent us the right amount. We brought on a designer. Her name is Amanda. She does not want to be on the podcast, unfortunately. I tried. Sorry. Her private life is very private. She likes to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely phenomenal 3D modeler. And she took those images and made, Brad, you wanna pick one up for us? Hope.
Oh, so
There it
good.
is.
Hope. Hope was fully designed in ZBrush off of photos and rendered out in Keyshot. So we actually have some really hardcore renders of her. Absolutely adorable. And that's in your special color, isn't it?
No, this one actually isn't.
That one isn't?
Oh, really?
Okay.
It's just an orange.
It's just a regular orange. And we're going to talk about Brad's special color. Brad has had some experiences that are going to change the way that he looks at this industry for the rest of his life. And I'm really excited to talk about those. But Hope was a fun project because, you know, I've already had a professional relationship with you. We became friends, bonding over the 3D printing thing. And now I get to learn more kind of about your home life and Hope and everything that there is about it, because this was a big project. There was over 50 hours of design that went into making it happen. Yeah. Yep. Over 50 hours of design that went into making that model happen. Multiple different design reviews, of which we kept Brad very much in the dark about. I worked directly with your parents on that, and you can blame your mom. Your mom said don't tell you until it's done, or don't show you until it's done. And I think I sent like some really rude teasers to you, like some really low opacity images.
I saw one. I only saw one when you asked about whether I wanted the color or not, and a couple of other things.
Yep, and that was
That's all
easy.
I saw.
Yeah, and there was a video. So Amanda took a video of the entire process of all the work that she did. I guess it's something that you can render out in ZBrush, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do like speed drawings and things.
I figured she had to record her screen the whole time. I'm like, dear Lord, how many terabytes of data was that?
It's like, I think you can do the same thing in Photoshop and everything, because it saves like the steps that the program takes and just plays those back. Yeah.
And that's what she said is what she did. I'm like, oh God, thank you, because I know all the work that she put into that model, and I'm so glad, because man, it came out nice. We also have a full color variant of it, so
I haven't gotten around to finding a way to get that printed yet, but that's on the list.
So what we need to do is we need to convince Academy at the Lakes they need a full color 3D printer. Okay.
And then they use Hope as a test model.
Well, not only that, but think about like all the graduation photos, right? Parents are paying how much for graduation photos? It's asinine how expensive graduation photos are. And they're just 2D. What if we could 3D scan those graduates and they could 3D print them using the STEM Club? Come on. They could make money off of that and use that to fund future things. I'm working on it because I do actually have a full color 3D printer that is for sale, and I would very much like the space back. I'd like it gone. But it's got to go to the right home. Now, I think the school is a great opportunity for it. But, you know, Brad's machines and most of the machines you see behind me are all single color. So we had to make sure that we were able to get a single color variant as well. And part of that means that it has to be really high detail. With full color, you can actually cheat and have a relatively low polygon model and just put a really nice texture over it, and you'll never know the difference. Video game models are generally extremely low poly, and they have a really
Very
nice
good
texture on
textures.
top of it. Yep.
And bump maps.
Yep. Don't know what that is, but sure. Yep.
You got to get those bump maps. It's what it is.
Yep. Totally. Agreed.
Okay, so bump map is you take the texture that's been applied to an object and you can basically extrude that texture based on the lights and darks of the texture.
Yeah.
So like if you have like a hairy dog per se, and the texture has lots of darks and lights, it'll take those darks and lights and extrude the lights and like you know.
It like it's the shadow map kind of.
Yeah.
And like a lithophane?
No, this is for like a 3D video game, so all the textures get the right colors based on how the lighting is hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if there's like multiple lighting sources, there's the correct shadows on the model. Lithopanes are cool though, but nothing to do with bump maps. I always thought they were called bit maps. So there, I learned something new today.
Different thing.
Different thing. Maybe I'm just confusing it, or I thought a bump map was a bit map. Who knows? I'm not that smart for that kind of stuff. I do a couple of things very well, and the rest of it I'm pretty mediocre
I
at.
mean, that's true for most of us.
It's fair. Jack of all trades, master of none. Certainly better than a master of one. That is the whole saying, and people always cut it off because they use jack of all trades, master of none as a derogatory term, and it's not. The saying is certain. Then it is certainly better than a master of one, because having multiple disciplines is better than just having one. More of an egg shape, and based on my weight. Egg or football is likely more appropriate.
Football.
Dude, I've put on so much weight from this back injury, but we're not going to get into that today because today's about Brad. And yes, Brad, this is how it always goes. You've listened to enough of these podcasts to know we were going to tangent. Is she seriously just sleeping on your lap right now?
Oh my god.
Next to me, yeah.
Aw.
God.
Don't wake her up. She was comfortable. She was comfortable. Yeah, it's true. That dog, sincerely, you can do whatever you want to that. You specifically, Brad, can do whatever you want to that dog. That dog will not care.
I mean, so grown, but
yeah,
she's special.
So, what happened next was Oh, hey! Speaking of Hope, Hope just finished on the printer behind me.
Oh my god.
You want to get her off of there?
Yeah, I gotta wait for it to cool down and pull the bed forward. That machine is still set up as if it was sitting in a window, so it goes all the way to the back, which would have been the front of the window. But yes, I will take it down before this episode is over. And I should have Rachel rate it, but I gave you both of the ones that I had. But Brad wanted to get a Prusa Mini. And no matter what we did, and we all tried, there were a lot of emails going back and forth for you, from Make-A-Wish, from me, and from everybody else that was involved trying to get through to Prusa, saying, hey, can we just kick this kid to the front of the line, please? He's going to be the biggest, benefit to a brand like yours. And you're going to be able to tell this really cool story, and we never heard anything back, and it sucked. But in came E3D, huh? In came E3D, and dude, did they ever hook you up? Talk about that. Talk about that experience working with E3D.
I have. They managed to get me one of their tool changers. It has 4 individual extruders and motors. And it has a system that can choose between them. Yes.
And so instead of having 4 nozzles that are all on the same carriage, it's got a carriage for one extruder, and it can park, grab another one, and print with it. I've never seen one in person because in between...
You did see mine.
Huh?
You did ultimately see mine.
Right.
But previously, right?
Previously that, I have seen what are called IDEX printers, independent dual extrusion, but you have a independent quad extruder printer. And I've seen IDEX machines before. I've seen like the stacker that are IDEX based. But I've never seen the tool changer. The tool changer's always been like a dream printer for me. We have no valid use for it in the company. Absolutely none. Mainly because they're incredibly expensive, but they're built like tanks. So I got a chance to see it, 2 months ago? Give or take?
Is it that long ago already?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's been a minute. Well, so, okay, it was before
I haven't had it for more than 2 months, so it couldn't have been 2 months, probably about a month.
Was it before or after my injection?
I think before. Maybe it was.
So my injection was 5 weeks ago. So it's been a bit.
Yeah.
I think you've had that
good.
printer longer than you think.
I got it at the end of August, and it's
November.
Yeah. Oh, it's November.
Yeah, wow. That's a while.
But you know that printer, it has presented some problems, as any hardcore machine like this will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And boy, has E3D stepped up. They are, and so for those that don't know, E3D is based in the United Kingdom, based in the UK. So anytime that there are questions, and Brad is talking to them, and Brad and I are both on Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brad, you're like half an hour away from us. You've actually been. Have you been into the shop? I know you've been.
I've never. I want to, but I haven't.
We'll have to bring you in here one day. That's what we should have done, man. I should have had you in here sitting next to me. That would have been cool. But God, it's tight enough in here for just one person. Anyways, so Brad's asking them questions, and it's like 11 o'clock or midnight their time, and they're up and they're responding. So I will tip my hat to E3D. They hooked you up with some really cool stuff, some things you can't talk about, which I think is really cool. But lots of really cool things. The one thing that I loved to see here is that the whole community came together. Printed Solid, dude, they stepped up. How many rolls of filament did they send you?
They sent me 2 of all of their Jessie line. I think it was. They had 36 colors and then shortly after I got those spools, they came out with 6 more colors, and they sent me those as well.
Where are you keeping all of this?
Yeah, like who has the space for that?
I have a huge dresser that holds about 1 of each, and then the rest are piled in my closet.
It's just like a library of color. Oh my God.
It really is.
It's like this, but it looks way nicer. Right, so
that's so cool.
For those listening audio only that aren't seeing it, I've got a whole shelf. It is 77 inches long, those spools are 4 inches wide, so it's incalculable. It's at least 18 inches tall. Depends on who you're asking, right? But
right.
It's full of filament, and Brad has a ton of it. And Printed Solid did that, and then Green Gate did something similar, yes. Right? Green Gate was one of every one of their colors, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to go through all of that?
How much have you burned through? You've burned through a lot of it already, haven't you? How many kilos have you gotten through?
I don't think I've entirely drained a single spool yet, but I've probably gotten through a couple kilos by now.
Oh, yeah, you've printed through a lot. And for those wondering, the entire industry is in metric, so when we're talking about kilos, it's not cocaine. It's 3D printer filament. It might as well be with how much of it you and I both have. But it might, it is spools of filament. It's crazy.
2.2 pounds each.
2.2 pounds, yes. Yeah.
That is so cool that the community was just like.
And there are some really cool photos.
Go.
We'll have to link them in the description so people can check them out. Like the photo of you surrounding all the material.
And then Hope sat down there too.
Yep. Which is amazing to me because that dog was all over the place when I came over, and she listens to you so well.
No, she really doesn't listen to me. She listens to me.
Oh, yeah.
If there are treats, it's as if I'm not talking.
I'm very much the same way. I will do basically anything for a cookie, okay?
Yeah, I will do anything for a cookie, so...
Wait a minute. Thomas, I'll just start sending you cookies. Done.
I know,
nope.
I just talked.
There
no,
it is. It's over.
Oh, no. God dang it. I'll start sending my invoices and cookies.
In cookies. How many cookies per hour? It's going to be a whole new thing. Honestly, one of the coolest things that when I was at your place working on that tool changer and the Mark 3S with you is that the dog alerts you without barking. She's got bells. It's like she rings a bell when she wants to go outside.
That's really good training.
That's really cool.
That's thanks to my parents. They did. My mom mostly got her to do that.
We had my dog learn how to do that. We had a bell on the door that he would hit with his paw, but we started to get so annoyed because he would just walk up to it all day and just be like, and we'd be like, stop! So we eventually just took it off.
Occasionally, she'll hit the bell. She doesn't have to go out. She wants into my mom's room if my mom's door is closed.
Yeah. Oh my
Do
God.
that sometimes too. Special.
Yeah.
But what I think is really special is that Printed Solid stepped up in a way that I didn't see coming. They not only invited you out to their facility, which, by the way, is in Delaware, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long freaking drive, because no one wants to fly these days. Nobody wants to sit in a
But
COVID tube.
Mom did all that driving.
Did you guys rent a car, or did you drive
We
one of your
rented a
cars? Okay, that's the right way to do it. If you're driving more than a couple hundred miles, go rent a car, because if you get a flat tire, they come bring you a new car. And you move your stuff from one car to another and leave. And you leave them to deal with it. That's why you should rent cars when you go on
Wow.
journeys.
Wait,
What?
So you actually went out to the facility and
He
saw it.
did.
When was that?
That wasn't last weekend. It
It was a couple of weeks ago.
I think it was 2 weeks or 2 weekends ago already.
Oh, so that's pretty recent, though. I mean, in the
It
grand
was
scheme.
during VERF, the Virtual East Coast Rep Festival.
That's what the V stands for. I didn't know what the friggin' V stand for. I'm like, Vermont?
No, that's just usually it's just Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, so
East
there
Coast
goes
rep.
hope.
There she goes. Well, that's how.
Wow. Wait, can we? I want to hear more about that. What was that like?
Well,
Oh no,
so
it gets better, Thomas.
Okay.
Let him finish this.
All right.
so it was during. They invite me there. It happens to work out that the weekend that we can go is VERF. They went above and beyond. They created their own festival. They called it BERF, Brad's East Coast Rep Festival.
Are you serious?
Amazing.
Thomas,
They invited
this is the biggest 3D printing thing that is not rapid, right? So 3D rapid and TCT are more additive manufacturing. The Rep festivals are all about 3D printing because it's the Rep project. They renamed it to BERF.
Well, no,
Or they made a new one. They made
in addition.
yes.
Yeah.
How freaking cool. Dude,
That's ridiculous.
Oh, and
I totally should have grabbed it. They had like a big banner of the BERF logo. They let me do it, but I was
Nice.
it probably wouldn't fit in the scene anyways.
yeah. I mean,
That
it
is so cool.
Please tell me that's hanging in your bedroom.
haven't gotten around to hanging it yet. But
Dude, it would be hanging in my bedroom. That would have been the first thing I did when I got home.
Well, they showed me their CNC motors.
Mm-hmm.
So we made like a BERF sign. That
Oh,
that I'm
cool.
gonna hang.
I have to go get something. I will be right back. Keep talking. I have something
Okay.
that I need to get. And I'll take Hope off when I get back in frame. So keep going on about it. I'll be right back.
So, they invited a whole bunch of people, or not a whole bunch, but a couple of people there for BERF. I am totally gonna butcher his name, but Paul Pakistelis, I think. He designed and made the Tiamat, the 5 extruder printer. It has I think 5 different hot ends that it rotates between. He showed me that. I saw Carl, I don't know his last name, from Knack 3D Designs. I got to see Naomi Wu's 3D print mill, or the CLF30.
Holy cow.
Cool. I have a quick in the room. And then what else did I got to see Makerbox's facility. And then the next people, and then the first day, Printed Solid had because they're a sponsor of VERF, they had a segment on VERF's live stream. And they actually, Dave, the CEO, he let me talk near the end. And I announced a new product of theirs. They're making a color, it's called Brad's Orange.
Oh my god.
So it's a deep orange with sparkles. It's awesome.
I had to go get this. I wasn't in my reach, so I had to go get my spool.
And here's the hope I have of it.
Oh, that's such
the
a
camera
pretty
doesn't
color.
really capture the sparkles, but it
Uh-huh.
looks amazing in person. So
Wow.
we announced that in every spool of Brad's oranges that you buy, they're donating $1 to make a wish.
Dude, what the heck? That's so awesome.
Remember when I was
So
talking about there are going to
cool.
be onions? People thought it was going to be in the beginning, but no. This story is so cool. It's about bringing this whole community together and making awesome. This whole thing is awesome. What Printed Solid did and how they just kind of let you in is awesome. It is so cool.
I'm speechless. That is like just the coolest.
And so we're going to announce it right here, right now. If you are listening to this podcast, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So keep an eye out. We're going to give away spools of Brad's Orange. We're going to give some away. I don't care where you are. You got to be in the United States. I can't afford overseas shipping at this point. So please, continental U.S. only. We're going to give away some spools of Brad's Orange. Thomas is going to figure out the technical details on that, but I'm the business owner. I could do these kinds of things and tell someone else to figure it out. That sounds rude of me, but it's really not. We talked about this earlier. We're going to give away some spools because, we want to help out more. We think the color is absolutely awesome. I actually have one of the original spools, and that touched me.
that first day at birth, I actually got to make some Brad's Orange. This is I only made 5. This is one. I think one's over there. Mr.
I've got
Poker has one, and then there are 2 I haven't opened yet.
Dude,
I've got one of the first 5.
My first instinct here is like I need either like a really high res image of the orange, or if you somehow have the color makeup somewhere, I'd love to have the color like on hand, like
to use
a pan, like as a Pantone or like a hex code.
I'll see what I can do. It's not the easiest because it has sparkles in it as well.
Yeah, I mean just the base orange.
I can get you some decent photos of it. I'm going to be buying I bought a few, then it went out of stock, so my order was canceled. I think it's back in stock, so I got to buy it again because I wanted to get like 5 or 6 rolls of it here. Because now when customers say they don't care about the color, they're going to get Brad's Orange.
That's so awesome. I love the idea of like technical 3D printed parts being printed in Brad's Orange with sparkles. That's so awesome. I love that.
I might review the parts of my Prusa that can be printed in PLA. I might review them in Brad's Orange.
Dude, you got it.
Oh my god, a Prusa all replaced with Brad's Orange.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd
be pretty cool. And so Brad and I met up last night considerably later than we were expecting. I was in the hospital. We're not going to get into that, but I was in the hospital last night, so didn't get to Brad's house until like 10 o'clock. 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was, oh yes, because we left at 9:30. We were there at about 9:15. So my memory is really bad. I forget. Brad brought some stuff back for us for 3D Musketeers from Delaware.
Oh my god.
And this is part of what makes this industry so cool. When Brad was there, he's supposed to be there for himself, but what is he doing? He's thinking about everybody else, right? Brad, you are the embodiment of what this industry should be. Help each other. Think about yourself as an afterthought, right? We help people all the time. If we can make money doing it too, great. A lot of times we don't. But if we can make money doing it, great. Brad brought back something that I've wanted for years. And he did not know that I've wanted one of these for years.
I was honestly thinking where you might have found one somewhere.
Well, this is a magnetic build plate for the Lulzbot Taz 6. The Lulzbot is actually what just finished making this Hope in red. Now, if you're wondering, Brad has one too. See, matching Hopes, twinsies, and such.
I'll show this one.
One of the
you can show the big one. The biggest
1 millimeter.
1 millimeter thick layers. Brad, can you compare the two of them side by side so people can see the size difference?
Yeah, let's see the difference in quality.
Huge.
So to give you an idea, the small
This is like
one
350 grams.
It is. The small one takes 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 49 seconds. The big one took a little bit under 4 hours to make because the layers are so thick. And I told Brad, I'm not removing the support. I don't want to do it. It's your problem.
I totally should have kept them. I got rid of them last night.
Dude, you did such a good job.
It's a lot of material.
Because it's so thick. The most 3D printers have a 0.2 millimeter nozzle. That tool head, or yeah, 0.4. Sorry, 0.2 millimeter layers. Look at him. Look at that. I really gotta watch out, man. You're gonna be a problem for me. But most nozzles have a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, do 0.2 millimeter layers. This tool head has a 1.2 millimeter nozzle and can do up to 1 millimeter thick layers.
That's
so
ridiculous.
You're doing 5 layers at once. We have some footage of that. Maybe if I decide we're actually going to do some proper editing, we'll cut that in. If not, we'll have some links in the description where you guys can see some footage of that hope, the big hope that Brad has being made. I took a lot of like close-up video because I don't run the Moore extruder on the TAS6 very often.
Right.
The reason that we did it is one of the spools was 3 millimeter. I guess
one
whoever...
of the spools that E3D sent.
It was 3
They sent me
millimeter.
a couple spools with the tools in there.
So cool, by the way. So cool. It was 3 millimeter, which none of Brad's printers can run, and we actually only have one machine that can do it. It's a Lulzbot TAS6. So he said, all right, do you mind doing this for me? I'm like, no, and I got a plan. But, dude, this is amazing.
So all I had asked for was just a small hope to add a perfect segue to my collection of hopes.
So many hopes.
I think you need to make...
That's awesome.
I think you need to make a bowl that says Bob. So it's Bob Hope. Do you know who Bob Hope is?
I recognize the name. I don't
You can
know
ask your mom. That's okay. It's a really bad joke. What are you getting, Tad? What are you getting? Or is it something unrelated? Tad.
Can he not hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
His
Tad.
headphones must have disconnected or something.
Oh, are you guys calling my name?
Yes.
I think my headset died, so I'm switching to headphones.
Oh,
Stand by.
okay. I thought you were I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I sent you the... Man, I should have been smart about this and shipped a hope to Thomas and one to Tad, and we could have all had them. That's what happens when you have bad marketing and you don't think about these things ahead of time. But, dude, I am so grateful for this. Like, this is amazing to me to get something like this. This is going to change the way that printer works.
So cool.
And it's not often I am left speechless, as listeners and watchers of this podcast will know. Dude, I shed some tears in the car on the way home.
Oh.
You are such a generous person. You've been through so much, things that most people can't even fathom. And so early in your life. And to see not only this community open their arms and say, dude, come on in. Let's make awesome. But you're giving back too. And that's just cool, right? I mean, there have been some losses close to me, and I told you about it because I wasn't going to be as, reachable as I normally am. And I get a text message that there's a $50 Amazon gift card waiting for me. And it's from Brad's entire family, and it's to help out with, the things that we needed to do at that time. And you don't meet people like Brad very often. So everyone out there that is listening, that's watching, you're hearing every now and then, because I talk too damn much, but you're hearing Brad, someone that I promise you is going to be doing great things. Keep an eye out for this kid. And if you own a 3D printing company, watch out.
So
he is learning incredibly fast.
I guess I need to ask the questions that I just need to know, Brad. Like, what's kind of your path right now? What do you want to do, or what's kind of the next big?
Sorry.
Like say you go to you say you're going to college or whatever, what's kind of the path you want to go, or what do you want to make, or like what's kind of in your lights?
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't thought about it that much.
Mm-hmm. Additive manufacturing degree, additive manufacturing degree, additive manufacturing degree.
I guess an additive manufacturing degree?
Product design. Yeah.
Yes, well, so when I was in college, that didn't exist. You could actually now go to college and get degrees in additive manufacturing.
Wow, that's super cool.
I actually don't recommend it because... Well, so I think a mechanical engineer with a specialization in additive manufacturing is a much better move because it makes you more hireable in different situations, right? So for some reason you find, 10 years in, I don't really like this 3D printing thing anymore. If all you have is a degree in additive manufacturing, you have pigeonholed yourself to an industry.
Yeah, so I guess the other thing would be like, what have you done any... Oh my God, is that you, Tad? That's embarrassing. But
Tad, what are you doing?
Zoom is giving him troubles.
Do you
with
need
some
an adult?
Weird conferencing. He'll be fine. But
participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound.
Thomas, can you mute him, please?
Yeah, are you connecting to Zoom through your phone?
Don't do that. It's gonna mess up the recording.
What? Don't do that. Anyway.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't connect it with your phone. It's going to be bad. I can't look at the chat, so you guys are going to have to look at the chat and help Tad out here.
He'll be fine. I'll give him a chat if I need to. But I guess, so Brad, have you done like any, as far as 3D printing goes, since I don't know that much about everything or what you have also specifically been doing, but have you done any of like the design work or have you worked in any kind of 3D softwares before? And like, do you want to?
Very basic Fusion 360 models, and
okay.
I mean, I don't even know where one is. My mom's needed a couple of random, or not random, but she wanted to display a piece of art she made. I made her a stand and things like that.
Oh wow! Yeah, so you're already doing it. You're totally doing stuff.
And look, he's not just like making memes. Thomas, what's the 3D print that you have, Thomas? It's a meme.
It's a meme. But he is.
Brad, that is not a meme.
memes.
That is an abomination.
No, look,
is that not what he has?
No, I also have this guy.
Brad, if you watched our last episode, you would know that.
I haven't finished episode the one of 3D printing one yet.
He's terrifying. But I don't just make... Okay, look, you have to make the memes... And you also have to make the work. You gotta have both sides. If
the memes are what make the dreams, right?
Then you don't have the dreams, and the dreams are making cool stuff.
Amen. It is. Have we figured out Tad yet? Are we good?
I don't have any chats from him yet, so he.
Okay.
I trust him, and he's a big guy who can figure it out.
I thought Tad was short.
Well, he is, but that's not what I was talking about.
I don't think he can hear us anyways.
Got him.
Oh, he's going to kill me for that. That's okay. Don't care. Well, Brad, you have done so much. You've been through so much. And through it all, you've been nothing but selfless. You embody what it is to make awesome. You're still young in your journey. But I think you're wise with knowledge that a lot of makers don't get till they're years and years into this.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, so being part of being on a robotics team and everything, you were like physically manufacturing pieces, parts, like you were using like what, a table saw or something like that? Or
table saws, chop saws, band saws. I mean, hardcore cutting,
yeah,
drilling,
by the way,
tapping.
Table saws are absolutely terrifying. I almost broke like an arm on a table saw one time, and it was just... So that's a good one to learn early so that you're not as scared of it later, because it's a scary saw.
Outside of the 200-pound gorilla operating the machines, a table saw is the most dangerous tool in a shop. Is Tad back?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, we're back! Were you trying to dial in?
I did. It didn't work. It says,
Well, yeah, no,
exist. And I'm like,
of course it didn't work. The corporate brainwash. You need to.
Tad, I'm so glad you didn't dial in because it would have screwed up the recording. Because it would have gone from 4 to 5 participants.
oh, I see. It would have had me twice.
It would have had you twice.
But
I would have rather had you call one of us and we put you on speaker next to
I
our
was thinking about that,
microphone.
actually. I was like, oh, I could just do that, I guess.
We definitely need to have a backup. We have not thought about this.
Well, here's
So-
the thing. My headset said that it had 10 hours battery remaining, and then all of a sudden it's like, recharge headset. I'm like, which is it? Is it dying or is it have 10 hours? It's got to be one or the
So
other.
you missed a lot of the. Did you hear any of it or no?
No, I'm afraid not. So all I
Great.
came back
You
to
should
was
go back
table
and listen
saws.
to it.
it was good. It was actually some of the really good content. So,
And we made fun of you.
But
Oh, good.
yeah. So Brad.
Is that right?
Yeah, Brad did.
Oh,
Brad
oh.
was good.
Jeez, Brad's now a bus driver running both Thomas and I over. Jeez, Brad, look, you know how the Three Musketeers are in it, all for one, one for all? You just broke the main thing here, man. Okay? Come on. Gosh.
Yeah,
But yes, those tools are absolutely dangerous. And, Brad did it. And yes, objectively, he was very nervous, and I don't blame him.
I think everyone is when you learn how to touch any of that. I mean, it has the power to cut your fingies off. Like
Your fingies.
Yes, these little fingies. I use these for everything. Like
You know what I say about those tools? It's they not only have the potential and capability of killing you, but it will hurt the entire time you are dying. It is not an instant death. This will be very slow, very painful, and there will be no one to help you.
Wow. Well, geez, golly, that's just a great way to look at it. But I
Just
mean,
look up lathe accidents. Spoiler
No,
alert.
I'm good.
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Don't
Don't
do
do
that.
but I
It is
mean,
not a good idea.
Brad's been
on that
making
whole-
awesome well before getting into the 3D printing industry. And I think that's what you were getting at, is that you did things that you were not comfortable with. I remember trying to work with you on that chop saw, and you're like, I really don't. I'm like, Brad, you can do this. Look,
And then
here's
I
how you
didn't.
do it.
And then I did, and then I didn't want to anymore.
And then,
Yeah.
but see, the trick is you still did it. And you found it's not for me. And that's fine. How many
And
other
important.
students in that club refused to do it without knowing whether or not they'd be good at it?
Right.
That's what makes you special.
it's important to do all of those kinds of things to get that
Adventurousness.
background. And I was
Yeah.
going to say, as far as like making things goes, I feel like everyone always wants, because in a way you're always expressing yourself when you're making anything, whether, you know, there's always a little piece of you in everything that you make. And the fact that you're making things physically with saws and now you have 3D printing as this outlet of making, and it's so accessible, because the moment that you really do start getting into that, like, I am making 3D designs and then I can print them on all of my cool colors and everything that I have, like, you now just it's all you have the internet, it's all there. Like, it's so cool that you can just do it at home.
I started to say at one point, I've done a couple of things with Fusion 360. Then I found an app. My computer doesn't handle ZBrush very well.
No computer does.
Yeah.
ZBrush is a horribly optimized program.
So I found an app on my iPad called Nomad Sculpt. It's decent. It works with the Apple Pencil, which is awesome. I've done a couple. I don't have any of them over here.
I'm gonna have to check that out, because I'm always looking for new cool iPad things.
Yeah, every podcast has that Apple fanboy. It's not Tad or I.
No.
It's Thomas.
That's
Thomas
what I
is the
think.
Apple fanboy. Everyone's got to have one.
So
I
I've done a
will
couple
kill your
really
video.
interesting things in that.
Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
I've done a couple of rudimentary things in Nomad Sculpt.
Those the prints that you've shown me, are those the ones that you did in Nomad? The sculpted
random-
stuff, or was that in Sculptress when you were still learning Sculptress?
I never learned Sculptress.
Okay, so
Okay.
then they were the Nomad ones then. Okay.
I did one in ZBrush at Printed Solid. I did a very rough Among Us figure.
That's awesome.
I didn't plan ahead well enough to actually have it.
You know what we should, and I've been thinking about this. Brad, you want to like get together maybe tonight, tomorrow, and you want to live stream Among Us for 3D Musketeers?
Yeah, we could do that.
That would be fun, but
you want to do it?
Watch.
Huh?
That would be fun. That would be fun.
I don't care if people watch. What the hell? Let's have. I've never played the game. I've watched Amber.
A couple times and that's it's fun.
I've watched Amber play it. I've watched AOC play it on Twitch. That was pretty. That was pretty cool.
It's funny.
400,000 viewers.
Yeah. I was on a live stream for Among Us last night, actually.
Nice.
Oh, is that why you were unavailable to help me?
No.
You were playing video games?
Really fun video games.
Strike two, Thomas. Jeez.
Jeez. Completely failing.
I was trying to get this set up. I didn't know what I was doing.
But you did it.
Well, did it is questionable. I have a feeling I'm not actually recording audio.
No.
It can be stitched together. We can salvage.
Do I need to like clap just to give you a point of reference?
No.
He's like, no, your dumbass voice pings the microphone. It's fine. I'll run it off of that.
Your dumbass voice.
Oh my god.
But man, Make-A-Wish has to this day still been very adamant on making sure that we get paid for that project, and all of us, and that's all of us that donated to your wish, we've all collectively agreed we will not be accepting a dime. Everybody donated every single thing that you did, that you got, and I initially thought there is not a snowball's chance E3D is going to donate the better part of $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
They did. I thought there's no way Printed Solid is going to send 70 plus kilograms of material for not a dime. And they did.
They did.
And that's what this industry is all about. All of us came together. People that I haven't talked to in years.
Oh, hello, dog.
Dog. But, man, that was just cool. And I'm not done giving back. I've talked with the team, and I've got a question to ask you, Brad. Do you want to be on the team of 3D Musketeers?
Of course.
I didn't need you to answer that right now, but you have to think about it. So, for those of you that don't know, Brad's really been coming up in the industry. He's a celebrity as far as I'm concerned. You're going to be talking with the owner of E3D, which is so cool. No one gets to do that, by the way. I used to talk with them when they were young. No one gets to talk with them anymore. And what time are you talking with them? I'm curious. I never asked you that. I don't need to know the day. I want to know the time. 10 a.m. our time?
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. their time.
Oh, I thought they were further off than that. I thought they were like 8 hours off of us.
5
Okay,
hours.
well that's nice. I figured it was gonna be like late in the afternoon, so they're staying up late to talk to you. But you know, this is what this community is all friggin' about, and I want to teach you 3D modeling because I think you will be a phenomenal 3D modeler. And when we start expanding 3D Musketeers, we're going to need local people that are able to help us keep this ship sailing in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think I can legally offer anything until you're 16. I'm not certain how that works. I'm not a lawyer. I have to ask ours. But as soon as we can legally offer you a job, we're going to put it on the table.
Yay.
Thomas.
I think it's cool.
Your story it's been inspiring, and to know you as a person before I got to know your story. So to me, you are Brad. To a lot of people, you're a little defined by the story, which kind of it's rough, but that's the way it is. I don't know you like that, right? I know you as a friend, a colleague, Someone that on multiple occasions I have texted you to ask you a question because I knew you've been through it, because I remember talking with you about it, and you never gave me an answer, and now I'm going through it and I forget the way to do it. And I remember it was the height range modifier in Prusa Slicer. I forgot where the sin it was, and I asked you, and you told me. And that's so cool. And I remember when that happened, 'cause I told Amber, I'm like, they grow up so fast.
I remember asking you where that was, and then you didn't know. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I found it later, but
I remember not knowing. I'm like, damn it. I know where variable layer height is, but I don't know where height range modifier is. And I'm sure it's well explained in a manual somewhere on Prusa's website that I did not find it. I didn't bother to read it. But now I know, and I use it on basically everything that we print.
You do?
Yeah, so we've been using it a lot more often. We do some particular parts that if we don't add more perimeters as it goes up, it's got some hollow space that doesn't make sense. So we adjust it to add in the appropriate perimeters. But, and that was just so cool for us to do it. You taught me a lot about the variable layer height. We use that on the biggest project we've done this year, over 20 kilos of 3D printing models for the University of Florida. I don't know if we're under an NDA to talk about what they were. I will check that, and if they're not, then we'll talk about it.
I don't recall that we were.
I don't recall that we were either, but I'll err on the side of we've done stuff for University of Florida, and that's as far as we're going to tell anybody for now.
Yeah.
And, dude, that's what this freaking industry is all about. You know, your story, everything with Make-A-Wish, it's amazing. And the way this industry just opened its arms to you and said, dude, you got a home. It's this ragtag group of people that a lot of times do not know what the hell we are doing. But we figure it out somehow.
Yeah, it's it's the adventurousness, it's the willingness to tackle problems that you don't necessarily have the a priori knowledge to tackle. You learn along the way.
Yep.
That's what's important.
And, you know, outside of helping out with the project, I don't know how to reward you, right, for being someone who's fighting the good fight. There are so many people out there that are trying to lock this industry down, put it under patents, and make it so guys like us, all of us that are on the podcast, all of you that are listening to this podcast, make it so we can't enjoy this technology. And Brad is one of those people that's standing up and saying, no, this needs to remain open source, and I'm going to do something about it. Like, Brad has been talking to me about how we can use the model of Hope to raise money, but how can we also make it so people can use it for their own stuff, and what's the right... He is very, very key on these licenses and making sure that when he does what he wants to do, it's licensed appropriately, where there are these people on Etsy taking stuff off of Thingiverse that have non-commercial models that are selling it effectively illegally, and they're saying, I don't care if that person doesn't find me, too bad.
Yeah.
Right? It's them losing money, and I'm making it screw the other person. And Brad is saying, no, we need to go about this the right way, and damn it, that deserves something. And there's not much more I can do other than say, let us really take you under our wing. You're going to hopefully spend a lot of time with Tad, Thomas, myself, doing live designs, hanging out, learning about branding outside of the what will be 3 episodes about branding with Thomas.
Goes deep.
Huh?
It goes pretty deep.
It does.
Deeper than 3 episodes.
I haven't seen Thomas get on a tangent like that in a while when you were about, dude, I need this Pantone color for the orange. I need it. Thomas, I can send you a freaking spool and then you can send it to Tad or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yes,
I'll find that for you.
You know what we should do, Thomas? Since we have this overlay, the orange that we use here for all of our names.
We could make it as
it's
got
to be Brad's orange
as possible.
No, not as close to. It needs to be Brad's orange. You're
do
better.
Do you want me to put sparkles in it?
You damn straight I want sparkles in it.
I can do that.
And you know what? Maybe we add a little GIF in there. So every now and then you get a little lens flare, right? A little.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
ping,
thinking.
ping, ping.
But it's got to be subtle, because man, if those were sparkling the whole time, I can't imagine what that would look like.
All of a sudden, sponsored by Michael Bay.
Yeah, we'll keep it subtle, but we could put sparkles in there.
No. You got the color shifted if it's Michael Bay.
We can
Either
do that
blue
too.
or yellow.
I saw there was a filter for gradients.
Orange.
We can do
Orange.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you we could even just source the real. Yeah, there's a billion ways we could do it.
He's going through his mind. All right, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this?
That's what I do. We're all just problem solvers. I think that's the coolest thing, because by coming onto here, Brad, and like getting your start in like 3D printing as well as like making physical objects, it's like this thing that I always tell people, which is like, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer, it doesn't matter if you're like a product designer, an architect, you in that realm of careers, we're all just doing the same thing, which is so cool. And it's just making stuff. We're all making stuff just in different ways, right? Because like I'm working digitally and making animations or whatever, but it's still making things for people to do. It's like so cool because we're all so connected in like all these little ways that relate to each other. It's like the cool, because now you're not just part of a 3D community or like a 3D printing community, but like a maker community, which is gigantic and so awesome. Like, so awesome.
And that's why we wanted you to be the first, sorry, Thomas, the first guest I care about, because Thomas, you're a host now. I didn't want someone else to steal that thunder. And yes, that means right now this podcast may not fall on a ton of eyes, but we hope that it does, right? This is the first episode that is not about a topic. This is the first episode that's not education related. This is simply to,
I mean, but
I
it
guess
is
there
in a
is
way.
some. Yeah, that's true. There is some, right? Is how to get out there and be a maker, how to triumph over challenges in life, how to be a freaking badass. Brad's a badass. I'm going with it. Dude, you even wore a 3D printing shirt. Come on. I didn't even think about that. I don't own any.
we could
Why?
make some.
Does Prusa sell shirts?
They do.
They
All right,
must.
well, we're gonna solve that. We're gonna get
Sponsored
a
by
Prusa shirt.
Prusa.
Well, I assume as every year Prusa does free shipping on Black Friday, so there's another shelf for those audio only that is just, it's full of stuff. It's mostly the post-processing equipment that's antiquated from resin 3D printing. There's a better way to do it now. I want to fill that with minis, and I want to fill it with like 15 minis.
Oh my God.
Probably
That's
16.
symphony.
I'm pretty sure it has to be even. But I can't put that many on until we get a new location, which I'm actively working on. It is unfortunately way more expensive than I was expecting. Oh well. You know what? I'll tell it. I'm researching a shipping container. We're going to be likely moving into a shipping container, which allows the business to be relatively mobile. We can go wherever we need to go. It's going to cost us a couple of $1,000s to move it, but let's say I move, right? So I move out of the Tampa area and move somewhere else. Moving a retail business sucks. One, you've got a lease. Did one of you just... I could have sworn I heard a crash detection. We're good. Everyone's happy. Although, actually, this one failed. I killed that when I was getting... Yeah, the part didn't stick to the bed. It was making one of the flexi octopi. And we'll mention this right now, too. So 3D Musketeers is actively participating in IC3D's Toys for Tots. They sent over 6 kilograms of filament, and they have a bunch of models there's 6 models. They're all the flexible models, right? Like the Flexi Rex, although the Flexi Rex is not one of them. There's a horse, a unicorn, a gecko.
Oh,
God, that's
so
a big
cool.
Flexi Rex.
That's awesome. What the heck? That's so
That is
cool.
so good.
It's a big Flexi Rex.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
And Thomas, the trick for that, it's one piece. It's one piece printed.
It's printed in place like this.
Yep.
That's so cool. I haven't seen that before. You just blew my mind. That's so awesome.
I've got some big octopi. I've got some small ones too. I got some resin printed ones that
This
are
one
like
has
this
hints
big.
of the octopus.
Yeah.
I ours had that, so I knew you could do it, but I haven't seen it so chunky and T-Rexy. That's like the best.
Have you done a Sir Flexington Rexington, Brad?
Not yet.
You got to do that. Do that in like a silk filament. They look awesome in silk. So it's mostly hollow, but the dinosaur's got a monocle and a top hat.
Guys, the best.
I can't believe I haven't done one of those yet.
Amber
so
loves them. The better 3/4 absolutely loves them. So, she's been enjoying them. She likes the octopi as well. She's got one in the purple to pink color changing, and she's got one in the silk bronze PLA that we have. That I thought was gonna look good, but I'm really not a fan of that particular color. Nonetheless.
Well, the extruder biofusion.
Wow.
See,
That is
that
so
looks
good.
good.
It really does.
Holy
Brad is so.
cow.
I
That's
guess,
some of what I got it printed on.
and that's
Wow.
kind of the difference between what we do and what Brad does. At 3D Musketeers, right? We want to get the parts out the door, and yes, we want them to look good. But Brad has spent hours getting the perfect tunes for his prints, so they look absolutely amazing. And Brad can afford to run a print for how many days just to try to beat my record?
Okay, I'm grabbing something. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. What is
She's
this
about
going to
to
be?
beat your records live.
When Brad went up to Verf and Burf, he started a print and ran it at 20 millimeters a second to try to beat our record for the longest 3D print. Our longest 3D print was done on the Taz 6, was 120 hours and 49 minutes. That's 5 days and just under 1 hour. It was a 110% scaled human skull for the Red Skeleton. It's a local comedian that uses an animatronic skeleton. Boy, who would have thought given the name? You want to talk about good branding? The skull was red too, Thomas. Wow. We used 1,700 grams of material. I had to buy a 2¼ kilo spool. Do I still have it? I might have gotten rid of it. It's big. It's roughly 2¼ times the size of a regular spool.
Mm-hmm.
Math. But when Brad left, so Brad he can control his printer through Octopi, but instead he chose to use a smart plug. And he has a Wisecam set up to watch it, so he can log in on his phone wherever the hell he is in the world and watch it. Oh, he got it. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Show that off. Look at that thing.
It's the Surfacer from Chaos Cortex Patreon.
Oh. So
That
Brad,
took- how long did that take?
Normally about 26 hours. It took. I slowed it down. I should have slowed it down more because I didn't beat his record. It only took 4
You
days
beat my
and
Prusa
17
record.
hours.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think it took 4 days and 17 hours.
So you broke my Prusa record, which our Prusa record was not all that high. I think we were at like 3.5 days on Prusa.
I think it was 4. I thought it was 4.5.
And so
It was
slowing it
4.
down improved the quality a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it struggled with the. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. The mouth that started and supports
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist anymore.
I think that's going to be struggled no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
Like I have another one. This was at like 130% scale. I have another one I did at 100% scale. It struggled there too. At normal speeds.
Those models are
and then-
more made for resin, though, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I don't remember for this one.
Yeah.
But and then it's also fairly heavy because I added a lot of info to slow it down.
Because he wanted to slow it down.
Just make it take
I should have
longer.
added more though.
You should have made it solid, is what you should have done.
No, stop encouraging that.
When I get the Mark III up and running again, I'm gonna actually have to slow it down more to beat the record.
Just make a brick. Like
Yeah,
a literal brick.
Just actually make a brick, yeah.
Just
Up
a-
full build volume
1-to-1 scale
like-
size.
and
solid
0.05 layer height. Unnecessary quality.
I
Just
think if
make
you're
a
gonna
cinder block.
and look, our record is nothing compared to some of the people out there. But 120 hours, 49 minutes is our longest print. I think, Brad, if you're gonna beat it, it's got to be done on the tool changer, and it's got to be a 4-color print. So if you're gonna do it, you got to blow it out of the water. You got to throw caution to the wind and go for it.
Once the tool changer, once it eventually works.
And look,
Same.
we had that machine running really well. There are some quirks about it. For those listening and watching, it is a phenomenal printer, but it is absolutely designed for someone that is very well known about what of what they were getting themselves into and what they're knowing in this industry. Do not get an E3D tool changer as your first printer. You will have a bad time.
It's a nightmare.
It's also, the setup that Brad has is, I believe, north of $6,000.
I don't know the specifics.
It's
not. It's more than just the basic one.
Right. And you don't only have a Hermera, you have a Hermes, don't you? I think you have parts
two.
for her. So you have 2 of the Hermes, right?
And then 2 Hermes and 2 Chimeras.
So, for those not in the know, E3 came out with the Hermes. The Hermes was their replacement of the Titan Arrow. Well, a company decided we're going to cease and desist it. And for no valid reason.
The night before it launched.
The night before it launched. Yes, the night before it launched. And E3D was pissed. Because, yes, they could fight it, but what's the point? Right? They had spent all this time branding it. They had sent out review units to YouTubers that loved it. Tom Sandlander. That's how I always say his name, because everyone does it. Tom's 3D on YouTube. Link down below. Loved it. But Tom was one of the big ones to talk about this problem. Because this was like the lowest of low moves. This company had no foothold in the 3D printing industry. There was no reason for them to do this, but they did. So E3D overnight rebranded to Hermea, Hermes' daughter, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's just another Greek god.
They're related. I'm almost positive they're related. Can one of you that are not recording both of your screens check that for me, please?
I got you. I can figure. I've been playing a lot of Hades lately, so I feel like I should know this.
Yes, because video games are where we get all of our research material from.
I think Chimera, if I remember correctly, is the goddess of the hearth. Like,
no, that would be. I actually know this one. Freaking. I should know this. I had to study all of this for so long.
Making you think.
What a. I think that's right. I'm gonna say that's right.
What?
That Hermea's
daughter?
Maybe. I don't know. This is proving to be way harder to find.
Yeah, it's actually.
You know what? Editors, the ones that are. Oh my God! You have another one.
Gyroid infill.
But that's the gyroid infill.
And marble and.
Oh God, I love marble filament.
That looks sweet. Wait, I didn't know there were all these different kind of crazy filaments. Like the one that you showed me that looked metallic kind of blew my mind. You can just do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looks so.
That's called silk.
It looks metallic.
Brad, do you have a spool of silk so you can show them what it looks like on the spool? Because it looks nothing like it. Thomas, look on my screen.
I could grab one.
The brown spool right here.
I have another.
Yeah. Can you see it on my screen that I'm pointing at?
Yeah, I see it.
That's bronze. That's silk bronze. I've got that color. They've seen that. We've been through that before. Check out what he's got now, Thomas.
That's awesome.
Hang on.
Here, Brad, I'll help you out. I still have the trophies here. I can do it too.
It's pretty much the same.
Oh, cool.
It's the thermochromic filament.
I didn't know it was the thermochromic. That is so freaking sweet.
It's so good.
That's so cool.
And it's unfortunate because all these revelations are coming out for PLA only.
Yeah.
I love that Atomic. See, look, I'm not just going after Prusa. I love Atomic filament too. They've got their Starry Night, which happens to be my absolute favorite color in the world. I need to order more of it. They've got, and it's in PETG. It's a dark blue translucent with silver metal flake in it. They've also got a marble PETG. Huh?
I gotta get some of that too.
Oh, it's great filament. It's expensive.
Marble looks amazing.
So the marbled filaments or anything that's filled
Marble.
is really nice because it hides layer lines really well. Look at Brad. Put that back up there and show us the layer lines.
This isn't even the Jesse marble. The Jesse marble
is so good.
If I have a hope in it.
Brad's prepared for this. I don't have any models in front of me. He's got all these nice models. Brad, you should be our Vanna White. Come on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's the Jesse Hope, or the Jesse marble rather.
That looks awesome.
Dude, those layer lines melt away.
I've used a bunch of marbles, and it's my favorite marble.
why I had to offer Brad a job.
So
I either have to hire him or I have to find a way to make sure he doesn't try to bury my company.
Yeah.
By the way, just as a Demeter is the goddess of the earth and plants and things and the seasons. Hermea cannot find anything on that one.
Yeah, me neither.
Will not show up.
What do you find for Hermes? Look up the family of Hermes.
It's not showing up in his children.
Wife, maybe?
What if they just made it up?
They could have just made it up.
They
In
could have
Greek
just made it
mythology,
up.
Hemera was the personification of day and one of the Greek primordial deities.
Oh,
It took
great.
him 2 seconds on his cell phone. I have 2 people that I'm paying to look up this stuff that couldn't do it.
I didn't.
Thomas, you're-
Daytime.
I'm taking away your cookie.
I'm not like a classical mythology major, dude. Come on.
Not my 3D printed cookie. I was assuming all my cookies were
Oh
going
my
to be 3D
gosh.
printed.
Brad, I have a request that once we get this tool changer running properly, we need to 3D print Thomas a cookie with like brown, your chocolate chip man, I figure, right, Thomas?
Come on, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we got to print a
And then I have,
4-color
like, a-
chocolate chip cookie.
I have
That would be the funniest. Yeah, that'd be so funny.
It'll be like our little Emmy. It'll be the
Yeah.
cookie.
The 3D Musketeers Employee of the Month cookie.
and then I could do it in like the matte protopasta walnut matte fiber.
The mat looks really good. That looks like it came straight out of like Cinema 4D.
It's got walnut in it, right? Is that one of their filled? Yeah. So
It's a
protopasta.
matte fiber, I don't know. But
Protopasta is known for doing really weird filaments. They did a hemp filament. They did a beer filament. They did a coffee filament.
I did a nebula filament.
Their nebula is so pretty.
It's
Whoa! I'm
translucent,
learning.
sparkly, and it's rainbow anywhere from purple to sparkle, little bits of red.
I've
So all
learned
that
so much
is-
about filament today just by looking at all these different hopes, and it's blowing my mind.
That's the whole point of the hopes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so awesome.
So what you're saying is you now have hope for this industry because of hope?
That's good.
Okay, so that's actually so smart because you could just have those all lined up and just.
I sent
You're
Mr. Posner a picture of them lined up last week.
That's so cool.
I
And
didn't
also-
screenshot it, so hopefully you
Okay.
saved it because I did it.
And this isn't, I haven't even done most of the desks yet. I haven't gotten around to it. So there's a whole bunch more.
Dang, that's so cool.
And you know, it is. See, I've never really considered printed solid as a distributor. Like, we used them a while, you know, many moons ago when they were first getting into filament, and I found it to be a little inconsistent. But they've
And
obviously
I-
gotten their act together. And seeing all the great prints that Brad has done, yeah,
This was in Jesse's green slime glitter. The
green slime
dinosaurs
glitter. Thomas,
Well, Grant, you had a custom green made by them, right? At one point,
by who?
was it printed solid or was it somebody else?
It was Make
No.
Shaper.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
This is in their recent blue whale gray.
Ooh, that's
Whoa.
really pretty. Actually.
Wow.
It's
That
one of my
looks
favorites. I mean,
awesome.
That's a
Ador's
really
my
good
favorite.
color.
And they actually told me specifically about this color. Their extrusion line operator discovered it when she was switching between 2 other colors.
That's how some of the best discoveries are made, by accident.
I was gonna be like, oh my god, there's whale in it. It's like that seems unethical.
Whale blubber.
Made with real whale.
Ba, ba, ba. Brought to you by Prusa. Thanks everybody for
No.
watching the podcast.
No, but you know, we do need to shout out everyone that was involved in.
I do have a little more talking up of
Huh?
solid to do. I didn't
Let's
even
do
get
it.
to the second day of birth yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Oh,
Hit it up,
dang.
baby.
Oh.
Let's do it.
After the first day, after the live stream, a couple of local people wanted to visit who didn't know what was happening. One of them, they were Macrobots US. They
Mhm.
have like 3 printed robots that for each other. They showed me some of them. Those are really cool. They actually gave me a kit for one. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I'm excited to go with that. And then Graybeard 3D. He came to Printed Solid and showed me his wall. He has over 1,000 filaments.
Ooh.
He makes
He-
samples, and he's
He
Graybeard is a
uses
place
the-
you go when you want to see colors.
And he let me add red lines to that wall.
And others.
And then after that, I learned he didn't have much of Jesse. He had none of Green Gate. He didn't have a lot of the random ones that happened in Amazon before Jesse. So I printed him, I think, 121 Marvins. That's something very confused. This is 3D Hubs Marvin.
Boo, 3D Hubs. We don't like them here. Sorry.
I sent him 121 Marvins the other day.
So Brad added the better part of 10% to Graybeard's collection.
Dang.
This is what this industry is about.
It's a collaborative effort.
And then, so, after that, one of the other requests I had was actually
Almost going back in the bucket.
I know, right?
to potentially make some sort of hope colored filament. Came home with a couple spools of this. The camera won't do it justice, but I mean, it's a mix of their beige 500 and 1064. I think it was 2/3 beige 500 and 1/3 1064. It turned, I mean, it's hard to match to like Hope resin sauce with like 30 different colors, but it's like the perfect mix of all of them.
What we'll have to do, Brad, is we'll have to get just some, images of all of that, and we'll include like a link to a Google Photos album that people can take a look at, and we'll have it in the description of the podcast. And that way, all of that stands the testament of time.
And then another thing I wanted, like since I heard about it, is Filamentum's Wizard's Voodoo, which as soon as it's installed, anywhere it's out of stock.
The witch
Either
doctor
that, or
stuff,
it has
right?
$30 shipping from the EU. I don't remember specifically which country, but
It's not close. Let's put it that way.
Mr. Postman, we can't hear you.
What?
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Wait.
Brad, did your headset die?
Oh, might have died.
Oh, that's
Shoot
the
him a
problem with the
message.
AirPods.
I'm pretty sure his AirPods died.
Oh, no.
They lasted a really long time, though.
They did.
Okay, now I can hear you at least through my computer.
Oh, there you go.
I think your AirPods died, Brad.
You can tell me. Oh, they're like tags.
Yeah, usually it should panic and
I was going to say, it should say something, right?
yeah, usually it just beeps at you.
Like mine tell me.
I'm a
Mine's
dirty
on
Android
too.
user. I don't have anything like that.
Well, I don't either, but mine are an Apple. They're like Plantronics or something.
Do you guys
Is that
want
right?
to? You guys want to see my new AirPods case?
No.
No. Yes, Tom. Oh, my God.
Oh no. No.
Isn't that hilarious?
I scared the dog. I'm sorry, Bailey.
Isn't that so?
That
Isn't
is
that hilarious?
amazing.
Thomas, why would you spend real dollary dues on that?
I didn't. It was a
When you
gift.
could get one.
But isn't it hilarious?
Oh, well, if it's a gift,
my
that's fine.
God.
Why would anyone spend real money on that?
That's beautiful. Which Teletubby is it? Poe?
I don't know their names. I just
Tinky
have
Winky.
it. Like,
If you knew-
I have it for the
If
meme.
you knew it, you're fired.
I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
it.
I don't know.
Good.
I have it for the meme. And I'm using it for the meme. So it's just
That's amazing.
This is our team. This is our team at 3D Musketeers. We're basically just meme lords.
Basically.
So I was talking about the Wizard's Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Printed Solid usually is a reseller of it when they have it in stock, but of course we didn't have it in stock. So we messed around with some of the colors, and it's not perfect, but in my opinion, it's significantly better. We called it Witch Doctor.
Whoa.
It's a deep purple with the same sparkles as the Brad's orange. The camera again doesn't do it justice. It's one of my favorite colors.
I
And
can actually see the sparkles in that one a little more.
so
Yeah,
I think it
can
was a
see
mix of a couple of their purples. It had marble in there. It had, I don't remember how we got the sparkles, but so And then this one might feel a little better. I did a Jesse in it.
Wow.
That's their Jesse model.
I love this idea that I now have of how filaments are made, and it's just like everyone's sitting around a cauldron, like throwing things into it and like stirring it.
I mean, that one literally was that. I was spooning the filament on one end, and the color wasn't exactly perfect. Dave was adding more color on the other end.
Oh my god, that's so awesome. So everyone's just standing around like, maybe we'll add some crow's feet and see what comes out. That's so cool.
That's what it felt like. And
Wow.
it turned out amazing. Like, there's this.
Whoa!
This, like, the other day
That's
on the
super
mini.
cool.
My aunt, forgot to mention this, my aunt ultimately got a mini to replace the Dreamer.
A Prusa Mini, by the way.
Yes.
This podcast is not sponsored, but it should be by Prusa
It
Research.
really ought
So-
to be.
That thing looks like it's like
This
some
is-
Diablo or like Dota.
That's the it's Fotis Mint's Archangel. I don't know if it's from anything,
Mhm.
but
Mm.
it's one of my favorite things I've
Fotis
ever
Mint
made.
does such nice work. I mean, their prints are
Wow.
some of my favorite if you want to really test a printer. Or hate yourself. It could really go either
Or
way.
test your support settings.
Yes. Like I said, hate yourself.
And then I do have one more print to show off, and then I think that was the extension.
Let's do it, man.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
That's in Brad's orange.
that is the old 3D Musketeers logo. For those of you that are watching, you should have already gone through that episode that we totally have not recorded yet, but that's okay. Where we completely talk about the new branding and the new branding for Making Awesome, which you can see, hopefully, if I did not screw up this recording. If not, it's boring, and it's four people talking on screen. If I did it right, cool, you get to see our nice background. If not, well, oh well. But yes, that is the old 3D Musketeers logo, and a bit of a secret that a lot of people didn't know is we never 2D drew our logo. It was always a 3D model, and then it was rendered out as a 2D thing, and then it was hand colored. The logo that you see is actually hand colored.
I didn't know that.
Grant, do you have where's that model? Where can you get that?
What?
Do you just have the 3D model or anywhere?
The one of our logo?
Yeah, I was
I
going to
have
print
it.
one.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Send me one later.
You should send me one too, because I want to screw around with it in Blender.
Oh god,
Now
he's
I'm
gonna
not
do.
sending it to you.
He's gonna give it the Abipus treatment, isn't he?
No, I wanna see if I can animate it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Make it do like the Pixar lamp.
You want me to just keep on ripping people off? Look, I know I did it like one time.
You're
but,
good
like,
at it.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Can they own a trademark on that hopping lamp? I mean, is that
it falls under parody at that point? So it's
If we
I
use
think
the
so.
same sound effects, maybe. I don't know.
No, we don't do that. That's see now you're getting too close.
We
now,
could just
make
pitch shift it. Let's get as close to getting sued as possible.
make it really like high pitched.
Yeah, I just want to test the limits. I want to get right up to the line.
Great. So I'm the one that has to deal with the lawyers. Neither of you deal with this crap.
They're
I'm
not
the one that
gonna
gets to cease
sue
and
you
desist.
over that. It's clearly meant to be a joke.
Never say never. Corporate greed.
Yeah, but the worst case scenario is they tell you not to do it anymore. They're not going to sue you immediately.
Yeah, and then we can frame a cease and desist from Pixar, so it's really a win-win.
See,
I
it's
could
kind
add
of
it to my wall. That's
do
true.
it. It's actually
So-
kind of worth it at that point.
It's like getting a
It's
free.
the Streisand effect.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Mr. Poster, do you want to show the full color print of this?
Ooh, please do.
Do.
Well, that's Snoop
He
Dogg.
goes to his rack of 3D Musketeers prints that you know he has.
No, I almost grabbed Snoop Dogg. So this one's actually gotten wet. And the color's not great. This side looks perfect.
Ooh.
Oh, but it's gonna be backwards to everyone because of the
No,
way
it's
that
it
not.
shows up. It
Yes,
shows
to
up.
you, in the recording that I'm doing in Streamlabs, my camera is reversed.
We could always just flip it.
Yeah.
Is it that easy?
Yep. It's just a value,
Damn.
right? Because if
Damn.
you're so think about
There
it
you
this
go,
way,
guys.
Grant.
That
Like
looks really good.
this is my quick nerdy thing, but if your video its width is 1920 pixels, which it is, all we do is put in negative 1920, and it'll flip your video the other way.
No.
Perfectly.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's just it. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so ours, that was not on a full color sandstone printer. Those machines are $86,000 US, brand new. And we are currently selling one for well under that price. So if you are interested in getting your own full color sandstone 3D printer,
Gently used.
Please, well cared for, even. I mean, it's been used heavily. I mean, I don't know if gently is the right term, but it has been well cared for by someone who, I mean, look, we did full color 3D printing for the Smithsonian, so realistically, we're the best in the damn industry when it comes to full color sandstone. And you know what? Go ahead. You want to compete? Bring it.
Oh my god, it's gonna be like a battle of the bands, except it's really slow, and we're just sitting around 3D printers.
Oh man, the whoosh, shh, shh.
And you're just both sitting in chairs across from each other, looking angry at each other for like 30 plus hours.
The noise that I just made, that is the noise the full color machine makes, because it's a powder and then an inkjet process. It is noisy. It's a vacuum motor as a roller comes out. Then it's a quick moving head that goes shh, shh, shh. Why? It's the noise that it makes. It haunts me to this day in my sleep. Yeah, no, we were, for many years, we were voted #1 in the industry for full color. That's how we got to 3D print Snoop Dogg and Steve Aoki and Anthony Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne, Justin Bieber, Ronda Rousey, Dan Bilzerian. There's a list.
Once we have like a good steady team, Grant, here's the idea. I think that we need to get 3D models of everyone, and then we print them, and then we put them in a fake toy box, and then it's all action figures of 3D Musketeers employees, and we give them out like a Christmas card, a really expensive Christmas card.
That is an incredibly expensive Christmas card. I have 3D scanned I've 3D scanned myself basically every December for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
So I have models of myself dating very far back. I've never 3D printed myself because that is lost on me, because I have an identical twin, and therefore 3D printing myself is not. I have
redundant.
One. It's
You have
already
one
have
that
to look at him.
I don't need to see more of me. We're good. Anyways, anything else, Brad? Before we wrap this bad girl up?
Well, Hope can say hello one more time.
Oh, yes.
See, that's it.
Let's
That's
see Hope.
Hope can sign us out.
This has been a really fun time.
Agreed.
Yeah, this is good.
Ooh, and
all
we're coming up
fans.
on 2 hours. We'll have to find like 3 more minutes to talk about. We're at an hour 57.
We got it. We'll just sit here in silence, and then we'll say,
Let's just stare
thanks
at each
everybody for watching.
Boom! Black.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Oh, God, no, we can't do that.
I wouldn't be able to keep that up for that long. This has been so good. I feel like I've learned even more about 3D printing today, just at a glance, and it's... Gee, I love colors, I guess is what I learned today.
Well, we knew
Wow,
that.
what a surprise. The graphic designer loves colors. Please tell us
Yeah.
something we didn't know here.
Yeah.
There she is. There's Hope,
Yay!
the star of our show. Realistically.
So
This dog is incredibly tolerant. I want you to understand how tolerant this dog is.
She's like putty in your hands.
She
Look
is
at
a
her.
noodle.
Oh,
Hi, Nita.
pretty.
Oh, so cute.
I can't imagine what it's like when she starts to shed. Good Lord, have mercy.
What do
That
you mean
hair.
Nightmare.
starts? She always is.
I was going to say,
never
that's her
stops.
secret, Grant. She's always shedding.
I have a cat. It doesn't shed much. It self-cleans. It leaves me alone most of the day. It's sleeping 8 feet away from me.
It just
If I
collects
pick
all-
it up, it might get upset. You pick a dog up, you're like, whoo, whoo, attention.
the best.
All right. Cat's like, I want to go back to sleep.
Some cats are different, though. I've had
fair.
cats in the past that are much more dog-like in that way.
That's fair. Hope is awesome, though. We were so glad to be involved in this project. I'm glad to know you. I'm glad that you got to meet the team, and I am hopeful, that you
Oh, don't
will.
laugh at that. That was a funny joke.
Funny joke.
I hope that one day soon you will become an integral member of the 3D Musketeers team. We look forward to to seeing more of you. And this is not the last time that everyone out there is going to be hearing from Brad. The last time you're going to be seeing Brad. We're going to have you on periodically so we can talk about what you're up to, what kind of cool things you're doing, how school is going, because you're still in high school and you have a big decision to make coming up soon.
I was about to say
what happens with college, and that's a tough decision,
especially in the current predicament.
And if you move away, damn, I can't have him move away. I gotta find something locally that he can do so he stays here. We've lost a lot of our good talent locally and had to convert a lot of the people that work with us locally into designers, because you can't really you can't be here, run 3D printers when you don't live on this side of the state anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you toured a college up in Delaware, so I'm excited about that as well.
3, actually.
3?
Oh, yeah.
We toured University of we drove through University of Delaware. We drove through George Washington. And then Paul Pacastellis, the one, I think Mr. Closer, I think you missed that when I was talking about, who was there on birthday 1. Paul Pacastellis with the Tiamat, if I did it. He's a bio something professor at Maryland. Went through a tour of our engineering facility on the way back.
Cool.
On the way back
I was about to say, you're definitely leaning towards engineering, right?
No.
No.
That was not true.
He wants to get an art degree.
Product design.
Then you get the best of both.
Yeah. Well, if you go into design, you're getting the best of both, because designers do just about god dang everything.
Yeah.
My dad went to college and never left. He has won the Jim Scott Award twice, which is the highest accolade given in higher education. And my dad gave me one piece of advice that I would love to give anyone that is listening or watching us that is looking at going to college. Get a degree that gets you a job and minor in what you love. Right? Getting an American history degree, kind of tough to find a job in it right now. Well, maybe not. I guess it depends on how it goes in these next few weeks. Might have a lot of things historians need to research, but getting those degrees can be very difficult to get a job. So if I really want to get into 3D printing, an additive manufacturing degree is not the right move. A minor or a dual major is the right move. Dual majoring in engineering is a great way to need to see a therapist constantly.
Yeah, that's true.
But you'll learn a lot. But the engineering will always be something that you could fall back on. If you go strictly for additive manufacturing, you can't easily do engineering, right? Now, I have 2 business degrees, but I could do engineering, but I could never get hired to be an engineer because I don't have that piece of paper that says, he's qualified. He's had 2 to 5 years of experience working for a big national corporation.
That was really good.
What'd you say, Thomas?
I said that's this guy. Am I pointing to the right one?
Who are you pointing?
Where's Tad on the screen?
I'm above
Tad
you.
is diagonal for you. Nope.
Oh, really?
Nope. That way. Yep.
Oh,
There's Tad.
yeah.
Tad's over
Got
there.
him. That guy.
That would be me, yes.
That's him.
No, but you're right. Like in my case, I minored in Japanese because I love Japanese as a
Everything.
language, Japanese culture. But I was like, I don't necessarily want that to be the linchpin of my career because I'm decent at it, but I'm not that good. But funnily enough, I use it every day in my engineering capacity. So
He works for a company that has quite a few Japanese employees and has bases and facilities in Japan. So being able to speak the native language is incredibly valuable, something that you probably didn't know you'd ever use. But
exactly, I thought, oh, this is just a thing I'll do because I like it. Nope, that ended up being an integral part of everything.
I am most thankful for Tad's Japanese. What's the technical term? Is it just a Japanese minor or
minor Japanese language?
Because Tad has taught me about the wonderfulness that is Japanese food. We've gotten a bunch of cookbooks.
Really good.
The
So
Oyakadan and Gyudon.
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 Gyudon
Always
is
screw it up.
beef.
Gyudon.
Beef bowl.
Beef bowl. Yeah. Dude, it's so good. And it takes like half an hour to make. You can make a ton of it. You can make a little bit of it.
A ton of what I make is Japanese food at home because it's
so
easy,
good.
fast, and good and healthy. So that's really good.
But it's heavy on carbs.
Yeah.
Only, I mean, if you do the carb heavy things, right?
You don't have to make as much rice if you don't want to.
But the sticky rice is so good.
It's so good.
Brad, we're going to get you on the Japanese food kick. Don't worry. We're going to get you in that kitchen learning how to cook, maybe cook dinner for mom and dad one night. That'd be fun and for the whole family. I could teach you. It's really simple. I've got the Just One cookbook that Tad recommended. Freaking amazing. It's so simple. I can do it. And there you go, Thomas. There's another one of our cease and desist letters. Geico's coming after us.
Oh, son of a gun.
Anyways, Brad, it has been an absolute pleasure. We loved having you on, man. It is. I'm excited that we had the opportunity to help make this wish come true. I'm thankful that we worked around so many other awesome people to make this happen for you. And I'm proud of not just the industry, but of you. Everything you've accomplished in your life, the trials and tribulations you've made it through, and you're turning into a gentleman that anyone is going to be lucky to have in their life. So I am very, very proud of you. I mean, in just the year and a half-ish that I've known you, you've grown so much. It's barely been a year, I think. Maybe 13, 14 months. It has not been that long. You have matured so much, and your critical thinking has gone through the roof. And maybe you see it, maybe you don't. I don't know, man. I'm proud. I'm like a proud parent, and I am not in any way, shape, or form related to you. I'm proud of the maker that you've become, and that's why we believe you embody everything that making awesome is. Right? You've said, screw problems, I'm gonna make cool stuff. I don't care what life curveballs thrown at me, I'm gonna keep making cool stuff, because it's not the bad experiences that define a person. It's what they can do for the others around them. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. One of the most famous speeches, Kennedy, I'm sure, hope I didn't get that wrong. Pretty sure
You're right.
It was Kennedy.
It was Kennedy.
Right now, Kennedy's gonna sue us. We're gonna get a cease and desist from the past.
From the estate, maybe, because I promise you, John F. Kennedy is not going to sue us.
From the grave. It's terrifying.
I am quoting something that is in the Library of Congress, so
yeah, actually,
I don't
Show
care.
some damn respect.
That's public.
Yeah, Thomas, show some damn respect.
That's public.
But I'm proud of you, Brad, and I never expected that 3D Musketeers could be involved in it. I never would thought that we could bring the team together. I never thought we'd be doing a podcast where we could tell people your story in a way that enables you to tell it, because we can tell it from our perspective. And as someone that is going through some health problems, that is in no way, shape, or form close to what you went through. And I remember, because I was going to come over to Brad's and drop off some stuff for him. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to the hospital. It might be really bad. I'm like, oh, damn it. It's really not that bad. I'll be fine, honestly. Because it's all about relativity, right? What you went through, I hope nobody has to go through. And I can't fathom what your family went through, what you were thinking when you were going through this. I mean, damn, man. But to see you on the other side, you're making awesome. You are growing in an industry, and you're making the industry better by being in it. That's why I want you on our team, because it seems like no matter where you end up, no matter what you do, no matter what interests you, you try to make it better. No matter how far behind we were on that robot, you were always there. You were one of our biggest fans. You were helping out as much as you could. You volunteered to do everything. You are the real MVP. Brad is the real MVP. I am honored to know you. I'm thankful to call you a friend. And I look forward to calling you a coworker.
Thank you.
This has been Making Awesome. I'm Grant. We have Tad, Thomas, and Brad here. As always, this podcast is supported by 3D Musketeers. Please, if you haven't done it yet, go in the description down below. There's all the links that you'll need to know, and there will be a link where you can donate to Make-A-Wish so that people like Brad, children, adults, anyone that is going through a traumatic, life-changing experience or has made it out and are on the up and up can also get their wish granted. And if you know someone who could benefit from what we do and who could use Make-A-Wish, let us know. We are happy to open up that communication channel. We've had no interaction with Make-A-Wish until Brad. And it was one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever been with. Everyone there just cares. They're all volunteers. They all care. And their goal is to just make awesome, no matter what it was, right? Put a smile on the face of someone who has been through, God could only imagine. I want everyone out there that's listening to call your loved ones, tell them you love them. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. I want you guys to think about what you just heard today and think about how you too can also make awesome. Let's all do something special in Brad. Let something for him. And remember, we're doing a giveaway of some Brad's Orange. So if you win, part of that giveaway is you have to send us one of those prints. And yes, I'll pay for the shipping. I don't care. We're going to have a collection of Brad Orange prints that were made by the recipients that we're going to give to you, Brad. We want you to see what the community does, which could be a really bad mistake. We'll see what happens.
I would have put some parameters on that.
Nah. Let's let it happen. I have faith in this community. I have faith in our listeners, and I have faith that everyone out there will do the right thing and will continue to make awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are at a little over 2 hours. We are well over our 1 hour limit, but this was fun. I'm glad that we had this talk. Brad, why don't you do the final sign off and I'll kill the recording. It's all up to you, buddy. Sign us out.
Thank you for having me on the podcast, and this has been Making Awesome.
Episode 10. See you guys
Episode
later.
10.
That's right.